Ale páni, ideme na to. Ako prvé samozrejme skontrolujeme zvukovú stopu, skontrolujeme zvukového stopera. Zistíme, či všetko sedí, či sa všetko odsypá, ako sa samozrejme odsypať má. Dneska bude ešte nebola, dneska ale je to tvrdé, ešte tvrdé, razné, neúprosné. Ale v každom prípade teda poďme skontrolovať toho zvukera. Ako prvé samozrejme skontrolovať zvukovú stopu, skontrolovať zvukového stopera. Zvukový stoper sedí, takže všetko je relatívne v zámetri. Poďme to oficiálne rozprúdiť. Je 19.9.2025, začíname 670. relaxačný tréningový deň, 670, 19.9.2025. Dneska je piatok, to sú klikožrutí, 100, 90, 80, 70, 60 kliksterov. Začíname 16.31, prvá várka 100 kliksterov. 100 kliksterov, 100 klikožrutov a ideme na to, púšťme tohto piču z Argona ako podmas. Dobre?
At least yesterday, and you may have noticed some issues and some shadow nerfs, particularly for Sword and Shield, Crossbow, and Wand. Some very sneaky, impactful nerfs that were not included in the patch notes. You may even want to consider using a different weapon. In terms of combat settings, you may be struggling with aiming, targeting, due to these ones keep changing on you. They also appear to have added the loyalty point store. And we did just get a hotfix which didn't exactly fix the core issue. However, with that hotfix we did nicely get some compensation, so check your mail just here. But yeah, there's still that issue preventing players from joining guilds and sending guild invitations. However, they assumably did fix their shop issues, but now let's have a look at the new loyalty point store. So the Korean version has had this store for quite a long time. Basically, when you purchase Lucent for real world money, you're also going to get loyalty points. And when maintenance did complete, you may have seen you had about 3,000 of them. However, they should have since updated to the correct amount. I've never purchased any Lucent with real world money, so I have a VAT 0. But there are some cool cosmetics you can get here, like these weapons, these morphs and amatories, and this cool hairstyle. And of course, you can use all lines of loyalty points, and they potentially may introduce new rewards that you can get with them. But now let's have a look at some shadow nerfs. You may have seen me mention the one for Sword and Shield already. They've gone and nerfed the block chance for the Del's Noah shield. It's now just 24 at max, compared to like the 27, 30 you're getting on the tier 2 weapons. Similarly, the Queen Belandir sword only has 24%. And what's even worse is they've also gone and nerfed the heroic weapon to now only have 27% shield block chance. I believe a 9% nerf at max. Maybe they really want to make the tier 3 ones more competitive, and this is their way of doing it. But then we'll have a look at crossbows. The Queen Belandir crossbow's offhand attack chance at max is now only 20% instead of 28%. Giant Cordy's crossbow got the same treatment. It's now only 20% max, but the heroic one remains at 32%. However, they did give a slight buff in terms of attack speed. The crossbow now has 0.475 at base instead of 0.55. So I'm getting much lower attack speed values now. But with this kind of offhand attack chance, using Selfless Diffusion means I'm only just getting above 41%, which is a bit of a yikes compared to the over 60% I was getting before. That matters when I play Fury because I want to get as many basic attacks as possible. The higher the offhand attack chance, the more likely I get those extra hits out. To make matters worse for Fury, they've also made a shadow nerf to the wand. The Touch of Despair has max duration of just 15 seconds, it appears. I should be able to cast this on my dummy, and normally I'm going to have 9 seconds plus 3 seconds, that's 12, plus another 3 here, that's 15, and I should be able to increase that by 5 with Witching Hour. We cast this on our target, we got that 15 seconds, and if we refresh it and use Witching Hour, we can see it's not getting boosted to 20 seconds. So that's a pretty big nerf for Fury right there, with the maximum amount of damage they can do and then on their curse explosions. No longer can you extend it, even if you include selfless diffusion, to like 30 seconds as it was before. They've halved its duration, meaning they've halved the amount of damage you can get from it. I will say Fury still does really well, but I am messing quite a bit around with Orb Crossbow, and it can work really, really well. I'm easily getting under a minute on my dummy tests right now, and you may have seen that guy who posted one where you can do like 10 million damage in 1 minute. On a dummy with quite a bit better gear than I have, that's for sure. I can get around 40 seconds for 5 million. With some optimization, I most definitely can get better than that. But now let's look at a bug where you may be running into issues with your skills and targeting, particularly these aimed skills. You may find they're not locking onto your target, or they incorrectly are from what you used to, along with some of them requiring you to have to tap them twice. And that is all because these settings are now independent to your combat settings. Don't go here to change them. You need to go to your combat settings and you need to scroll down. So for example, in my Fury loadout, I want to have these toggle aim skills so I can insta-cast these area attacks when I let go of the cast button rather than having to click it twice. Similarly, I want my aim skills to lock on my current target so I don't have to worry about aiming that circle. But if you're like a healer, you may want to aim those areas, thus freeing you up where you will place these. So make sure to have that unchecked then. And then you have snap targeting for ground or directional skills. These could be messing you up as well. So just make sure to check your combat settings, as these are new additions. You're going to have to go through each of them. Like on healer, I don't want my aim skills to lock on target. I still do want toggle aim skills. That way I can freely cast my flash wave no matter what target I have, so I can aim it at players rather than enemies, or to put my Fountain of Life where I want rather than putting it on my target. Last thing to point out would be blessings for tier 3, the amount you need. If you look here, it highlights you need 50 points for 1% on tier 3. That means you will need 4,500 blessings just to get 100% when you're trying to upgrade with a tier 2 piece. So if you wanted to do 11 traits on your gear piece, you need nearly 50,000 blessings. However, be aware the amount of blessings you gain for a failed upgrade with a tier 2 item is 400. So it is still the same rate where you can fail to upgrade 11 times and you will have over 4,500 blessings, meaning you can immediately get your next upgrade for free with those blessings. So what this means is if you did blessing stacking before this update drops, you will not nearly as be rewarded because the sheer amount you need is kind of crazy. But we still get a ton of blessings by feeding in tier 2 purple items. So that's it, just a few things I wanted to highlight. If you think there's anything extra of note that I failed to mention, feel free to leave it in the comments below. A special thank you to these channel members for the added support, and we'll see you guys around.
No, ideme na to, páni.
So NCSoft for the Korean server just posted a video which covered
connecting it to the wait, that's big. Wait, that is huge. If you just collect, oh my god, guys, listen. I just cooked, heavy cook. Heroic raids aren't open right now, right? But if you buy the battle pass, you get Kalantia shards, right? Let's see. Okay, no Kalantia shards here. What about this one?
Dobre, ideme na čtvrtú sériu. Sérii sa klikol, že to som
You get here 4 shards, 8, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 17. You get 17 shards here, right? And then you will get 45 shards here, that's 50, 60 shards. And then on the event, I know the event gives some. Does this one give anything? 60. Wait, if you're a super whale, if you save up on every event and every battle pass, you can get the heroic weapon before the raids are even out in this game. And then what you can do is after you buy it from the NPC, because the NPC is still there, you can go to the auction house and you can maximize your weapons, heroic weapons, and then you will be the only player in Hyperboost servers for 3 weeks with heroic. That's a flex. That is a flex. If you can do that, that is a flex. I'm gonna make a video on this actually. That's crazy. Like, I need to write it down. I actually cooked. Only for whales though. Now that's crazy. That you can do that. Title's gonna be Get Heroic for Taiwan Hyperboost. World's first heroic.
No,
They did this on purpose. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
2300 stojí trpaslíčí meč. 2300. No, ale už mám nejakú záujem. Poďme dorazí posledná séria, 5. séria. 60 klikov, že do 60 klikov.
I mean, you can for sure get the a gear piece because that's cheaper. A weapon costs 100, so it's gonna be a little harder. But for sure, get the gear piece, heroic gear piece, 100%. But you need to buy the old battle pass. Can you buy the old battle pass? Yeah, you can. You can buy the old battle pass. So you can super cook.
Ale je to za nami. To bude tvrde. Dobre, je to za nami. Poďme to zabaliť. Zrekapitulujeme to. Takže bolo 19.9.2025. Skončili sme 670. relaxačný tréningový deň. Skončili sme 16.44, segment trval 14 minút a 15 sekúnd.